There's a there's a parking lot and an apartment complex, 263 units coming in downtown Rockwall, and it's got some citizens upset. But we have Councilman Clarence Jorif here for some straight talk. I'm Bunker Bob Steinhagen, and this is the Bunker Bob Show. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is great to be back here in studio for another edition of the Bunker Bob Show. And with me today is the newly elected Clarence Jorif, newly elected council member. Councilman Jorif, thank you for being here today.
It's my pleasure to be here with you too, Bob.
Well, a lot has, before we talk about the apartment complex, because that's pretty much what we're going to talk about, because P&Z tonight has a firestorm of people apparently that is going to be at the doors and ready to give them all kinds of heck. What I was hoping I could do by having you come in is to let's figure out what fact from fiction and try and cull through all that. But before we do, How has it gone? You've been on council for how long now?
Since May 17th, so we're looking at probably about 2.5 months now.
And how's it going?
It's been an interesting ride. It really has been an interesting ride. I'm very, very appreciative of the citizens of Rockwall. Once again, thank you all for giving me this opportunity to represent you. And I feel that my voice has made a presence so far. So when I got the invitation to come sit down and talk to you about this, why not? Because once again, it's all about transparency.
Absolutely.
And it's all about the facts. Going back to Peter Falk, Columbo.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
No worries.
So have you enjoyed it so far? I mean, you've had some long meetings.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
There have been some long meetings. There have been some issues that have been addressed. And bottom line, Rockwall is a great, great community. It needs to remain that way. And that was the platform that I ran on, and I plan to stay true to Rockwall to do so.
Yeah. So this is an interesting issue coming on the agenda of planning and zoning tonight, which is a 263 unit apartment complex, which has a lot of people pretty frustrated. But what I think is important is that we highlight what the true facts are. And just to give everyone a perspective of where we're talking about, it's downtown Rockwall. This is kind of, if you may recognize some of the places, the Fatted Calf, Zanata, and some of those great restaurants that we have in Rockwall, and of course the Rockwall Police Department, and that's right across the apartment complex is going to be right across the street from that the police station. We'll talk about that a little in a little bit. The front elevation, as put on tonight's P&Z agenda. And by the way, if you are interested in seeing that agenda for tonight, there is a link on this program that we put on so that you'll be able to pull in that PDF. You can see the images that I'm showing you. I'm not going to show you all of them at all. I'm going to show you just a few of them so that we can talk about the issues at hand. But that is there. You can download that, and it starts on page 180. So if you're interested to learn more about this, in addition to what we're talking about, you can do that. But that's the front elevation of that's what it's supposed to look like from I guess the corner of that. But let's talk about some of the facts. And Clarence, you can really help us with some of these facts. And I think START was included in the Hometown Vision 2020. Tell us a little bit about that.
Way back when, and I can speak from historical documentation and what I've researched and what I've been done. Let me get this out there first and foremost.
Yes.
I'm not a lawyer. I didn't stay at a
Neither am
Holiday Inn
I.
last
That's
night.
right. Holiday Inn Express,
So,
right?
I will not profess to be a lawyer.
Good.
But throughout my career as a criminal investigator, I based everything I do on fact. I went back, I did research. What I didn't understand, I asked questions about. I did more research. And what we're going to talk about is what I found and basically what is the facts as they are. Hometown Vision 2000, Rockwall was in a state of, it wasn't very much going on in Rockwall at that time.
Hmm.
So the vision was, hey, to revitalize the downtown area, let's put in an apartment complex. The mindset behind the apartment complex is people living close by could walk to the downtown square, enjoy the stores, enjoy the restaurants, enjoy everything that the downtown area has to offer. Great. 2004, let's see, the mayor at that time would have been
Scott Self.
Scott Self.
Yes.
City Council went ahead and approved the zoning of that district to accommodate multifamily housing. Now, the wording gets thrown around a couple different ways.
Yeah.
Under the Unified Development, the UDC, it was defined that it could be an urban development, which also means multifamily, or multifamily, which falls under the urban development.
Okay.
Great. Once again, it's semantics, it's a play on words. So
Yes.
that was in 2004.
Okay.
That was 17 years ago.
Yes.
Rockwall has changed in 17 years.
Boy, has it.
But let's back up 2 years ago, 2019. So that would have been 19 years ago from 2000, or making me do math on the fly, 15 years ago from 2004.
So in 2004, the downtown zoning for multifamily was approved,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah.
So with that having been done, the plans were in place. An argument that I hear a lot of times is, well, why did it take the developer so long to put their plans in place to move forward? October 2019, City Council met. At that time, it was, Mayor Pruitt, Mayor Pro Tem Dana Macklick, John Hohenscheld, Trace Johansson, Patrick Trowbridge, Benny Daniels, and I always forget someone. Kevin Fowler.
Okay.
That was the 7 that was on the city council at that time. They had they met, and the 380 agreement that was the agreement that was made with the developer. Hey, for this land here that you want to build this this development on, there's a parking lot, or the police parking, or the city parking area there.
Yeah.
With no malice to anyone, it was looked upon, and this is the way that I've come to deduce the information that was provided to me. It was looked upon as a win-win.
Right. Now let's talk about, I want to talk about the apartment complex in a minute, because that's really the key to all of this, in my opinion. And so I would just say that if this were to happen in McLennan Chisholm, I would have gone berserk. This is because it to me was a violation of what I would expect my elected officials to do to inform me. But this issue really, it comes down to, first of all, and we go back to this Vision 2000, the Hometown Vision 2000. They wanted apartment complex. It was part of the comprehensive plan, and this apartment complex does meet the criteria of the comprehensive plan. Is that correct?
Yes, it does.
And
that's
so
the
it's
unfortunate thing.
And so it's 4 stories, and we'll talk about the specifics of that in a minute. There's 263 high-end units. And I think what's important to highlight here is there's no Section 8 housing. Now, Section 8 housing is a very interesting thing, because Texas is one of actually there's only 3 states in my research that have stipulations on Section 8 housing that basically move against property owners, and it basically says that no one can be denied Section 8 housing, but you have to apply as a landowner. You've got to apply for Section 8 housing. A Section 8 housing can be a house, it can be an apartment, it can be anything.
Correct.
And the question is, would a developer that is putting this kind of money in this kind of a project want Section 8 housing? The benefit of Section 8 housing, bottom line, is you get a dependable income every month. But when we're looking at all these Californians and people just, I mean, the housing market is just crazy. This apartment complex looks like something you'd see in Uptown Dallas. So I can't imagine that a developer would
And what
do
has
that.
been presented on paper
Yep.
is it's going to be high-end multifamily living.
Yes.
So I've been told anywhere from $3,000 and up for an apartment in this
Golly.
complex.
Wow.
That's insane.
That is insane.
That's more than my mortgage right now.
Yes.
But the mindset is it's not going to be Section 8. Now, what helps with that Section 8, and you help define it, the property owner has to apply
Right.
to receive Section 8 funding.
Right.
It's not just something that just pops up out of the poof, and here it is. The mindset is once the federal government receives that application and they grant it, that's when that comes into play. To my understanding and to the understanding of the city council now, I can't speak for everyone, but the facts as they are it's not going to be a Section 8 type housing situation.
No, absolutely not.
Everyone has the right to live somewhere. I get that. Everyone has a right to have a home, a house, a home, an apartment, somewhere they feel safe that their family can live. I understand that.
Yep.
But to the best of my knowledge, and I haven't seen anything otherwise thus far, it's not going to be Section 8 housing.
No, it's a crazy notion, in my opinion, because I was a mayor of a city, and when I heard that this was a 380 agreement, my understanding of a 380 agreement was I guess myopic, because I didn't understand the full breadth of a 380, and I didn't realize that a city could enter into a 380 agreement, basically binding themselves to a lease agreement type contract, which is what this is. This is the city is essentially doing a trade and is getting something back for what they've got. Now, I want to just notice I write that, or the facts are that it's 4 stories. However, one of the elevations that is out there that is in the P&Z packet tonight is this is one of the pages from that elevation, and it looks like 4, 5, 6. It looks like 7 stories to the uneducated. So help me understand what I'm looking at.
It looks like 7 stories because 4 of the stories, which are the apartment complex themselves, are above ground. The other 3 levels that you see depicted on the screen there, that's the underground parking. It's 3 levels of parking underneath the building that will not be seen by the naked eye. What you will see is what's depicted on their drawing, and as long as they live up to their drawing, you'll see 4 stories above ground, which is the actual apartments themselves.
Yes. So that's an important distinction. And so let's talk about the parking lot, because that's really, to me, this is where everything happens. And the reason the parking is so important here's basically the lot line of what we're looking at and what's going to be developed. And in the 2 squares, the red squares, the square is the police department. Across the street is the current police department's, Rockwall Police Department's parking for its police. It's 7. That's 70 spots right now. It's all uncovered, and this I think is 8. Plats, official plats, even though it looks like 5, but there's 8 there. This is how it's going to be, I guess, sectioned off, or that's what they have to do through P&Z, and they have gone, I did confirm, I looked at the minutes, and they did go to the Board of Adjustment. They have already been through that process, and I've got a copy of that if somebody's interested in seeing, or we can put a link up to those minutes on that. So it did go before Board of Adjustment as well. So this is what's basically going to be put in. It's going to be, you see where the blue is, that's police parking. Understand this is all underground. There's 90 covered parking spaces versus the 75. I said 70. It was 75 uncovered spaces currently. But let's talk about facts as it relates to this. This is important to you. I know it is. 473 total spaces. There's 90 spaces with a 50-year lease for the city at $1 annually. Now, this is a bone of contention for some, saying, hey, we don't just why are we giving it away for $1 a year? as opposed to getting hundreds of thousands of dollars for that piece of property.
From what I've been told, it was a win-win.
Okay.
I can see that on paper. It was a win-win.
Okay.
2019, 2021, 2017, congestion in Rockwall with traffic patterns and everyone. I get it. I'm stuck in that traffic too, trying to get from north side of 205 down to the downtown area.
Yeah.
I get it. But the mindset, as it was related to me, and I can understand that, it was a win-win wherein the parking area was given up to be able to end up with covered parking, secure parking for our police vehicles. When we have bad weather or inclement weather where you have hail, storms, the whole 9 yards, the police have had to relocate to other locations throughout Rockwall to cover their vehicles. I'm all about that, because damage to those vehicles, once again, affects the citizens of Rockwall, because someone needs to repair those vehicles or to pay to have those vehicles repaired. Where does that come out of? I'm not putting it on money, but it's something to take into account. So,
and when you garage a vehicle in the heat, summer heat, I mean, you are preserving that.
You're safeguarding the vehicle from everything.
Sure.
The other thing about it, and once again, speaking from my law enforcement background, the location where it is right now, if somebody really wanted to get into that fence, you can come over the fence very easily. There's cameras and there's other deterrents out there, but once again, a camera is only as good as if someone's sitting there watching it the whole time to make sure. But this gives them an access into the building, controlled access only for police parking, police vehicles down there only afforded by police access. So, based on that, that's my understanding why it was like, hey, it's sitting there, we can get something for it. We can get a garage structure that's basically, I've heard of upwards of a $2 million garage structure to safeguard our vehicles and to be utilized by the police department right across the street.
Yeah. So you know, when you look at a 50-year lease agreement, first of all, if you know anyone's looking at that police department, it is landlocked. You are going to have to. I mean, I'm not a resident of Rockwall, so I'm not going to tell you, Councilman, what you need to do. But it appears that you're going to need to make some changes.
The forethought, the looking ahead. And conversations have been had. I have talked to the police chief. I've talked to the fire chief. The bottom line is they need a new police building. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
You have police officers on top of each other. You have every nook and cranny in the building being used for some official function, where you have people sitting on top of each other, storage here, storage there. It's not functional.
Yeah.
They're going to need a new business building at some point in time. So, with that having been said, do I see this building remaining there for the next 50 years? No, not based on how things are growing. We need more officers. We need more space. It's not going to. So, the mindset with that is, if the police department leaves use of the actual parking space, it reverts to city use for whatever time period that's left over.
Yes. And so additionally, the developer will arrange temporary parking during construction. And I think that's important. But to me, when I said this is the key to the whole thing, if the council wanted to stop this, they could have done it before it was late 2019 when this 380 agreement was signed. Once they signed it, and I've looked at a copy of that 380 agreement, and it's very clear. This is what the agreement is. It's a done deal. It seems like the horses are out of the barn. Am I wrong in that?
I agree to disagree.
Great.
No.
Great.
City councils had their hands tied. From 2004, when that area was designated as part of the plan then, multifamily.
Yeah.
It's multifamily.
But the city didn't have to sell that parking space.
Oh, not the parking space.
They could have stopped the whole apartment complex.
They could have chose to build around it. They could have chosen to build piecemeal with, as you showed the diagram before, a section of it cutting out the police parking and then working around it. I can't speak to what could have, should have, would have been.
Yeah.
But if they had, they would have still built around the parking area. So once again, my understanding was this was something that was, hey, they're going to build around it anyway. Let's get something out of it. That's why the parking area was.
I think this is an area where we can agree to disagree, because I would think that a developer is, if they've got this big spot between them, they're not going to build there. I mean, they're going to find somewhere else. I don't know that, and you don't know it either, and we neither of us do, and which is good. This is way conservatives work. We can disagree, and it's okay.
Be friends at the end of the day.
Exactly. So this is okay.
So let me go back and clarify the rest of this.
Yes.
So 2000, the vision is there, multifamily. 2004, it's zoned multifamily. 2019, it comes before City Council with the 380 agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem, and here's the problem that we stand today. By right, they have the right to be able to build it. They do.
Now they do. Yes. Now they do. Absolutely. Now they do. Absolutely. Yes.
So
no disagreement on that.
For us as the City Council, or even P&Z, to say, nope, we're going to deny it, it puts us in a very, very bad way as a council, as a P&Z, as a city, for the city of Rockwall, for City Hall, because there have been cases that have been proven. A spot of land was denied by the city. The developer sued, won. Not only did they win, the city actually ended up paying for the development right then and there, because that's the degree of monies they talk about. I have heard, well, hey, let's go ahead, let's fight. You can't fight what's right or what's wrong. On paper, justification-wise, it's right. Do I like it? Would I have voted for something like that? I'm going to sit here and tell you no. But it would have passed anyway, because it's by right the right thing to do. I throw something out very quickly, because I had a conversation with someone that's like, well, where are you getting this from? What's the background on this? Mm-hmm. Bartlett versus Cinemark USA LLC.
Yep.
City of Dallas told them, no, you can't build it. We deny. They sued. They won. Dallas paid out major millions of dollars to build a development that by right was entitled to be there.
Yeah.
That's going to be the same situation that we run into here.
Yeah.
I'm not litigious in nature. Sue, go. I understand people are upset, because I'm upset. Looking at where it is and the possible congestion that's going to bring, there's going to be some things done traffic-wise to help alleviate traffic, but I'll believe it when I see it. That's number one. The thing about it is it would have happened. P&Z, I'm not putting any words in anybody's mouth. If they vote it down, they're open to be sued.
Yeah.
It comes to us, which it won't get there. Based on P&Z passing it, it'll never get to the desk of City Council. It'll never get there, because it'll just go along its way and be done.
Because City Council's already addressed the matters that would come before City Council. Now it is in the hands of more the P&Z and
just zoning and building the place.
Yeah, and there are certain laws. I mean, basically, it goes before them as a procedural action, not necessarily for their blessing. Yeah. So there may be a lot of members of P&Z, I would suspect, that are uncomfortable with this as well.
The people that I've spoken to, they don't like it, but just like us on City Council, especially myself, this happened way before my watch started on May 1st.
Yeah.
So I'm being thrown into it, and it's like, wow. This is that forethought that I talked about through the whole run-up, and I continue to talk about. Looking at what the possibilities of things to come and what could be. It could go one way or the other. Do we know? But I'll ask you a question, though, Bob.
What's that?
What are the lottery ticket numbers for this Saturday's drawing?
No idea.
You and I would be millions if you knew, and you could tell me, because I'd split it with you.
Oh, you would?
Yeah, I would, because that's the conservative friend that I am. But having said that, our hands are tied. And I've said that to some people, and there's got to be something we can do. Well, here are the facts as they are. There are some very, very big-hearted people in Rockwall. They're making presentations. They're putting things together. They're bringing things to the table. Well, what about this? My hat goes off to them. My heart is with them. But at the end of the day, it's not going to work.
Right.
It's not going to work.
Right.
And that's what makes me sad, because I've seen the social media trends.
Okay.
I've had conversations with people stopping me at Costco. Hey, what about this apartment complex? Ugh, yeah, that thing. Don't like it, but it's coming.
Yeah.
What do you mean it's coming? You can do something about it. That's why we voted for you. Yeah, you voted for me to be your voice about doing the right thing at the
Yep.
right time everywhere. But I also told many people there will times that we have to agree. There will be times that we have to disagree. And there's times that we're going to have to agree to disagree. This is one of those times. It's coming.
You know, it is interesting. I'm, being that I am in McLennan Chisholm and big, when I was mayor, my focus was keeping the large lots, not trying to maintain us as a bedroom community, not a, building restaurants and things like that. But, that's one of the reasons I love McLennan Chisholm, because we basically benefit from what you guys do. But, Rockwall is a different city. It's much, much bigger, and you guys have a lot of things, plates spinning. And it seems like, and this is someone that is, I'm in the cheap seats, looking down, and I look at the apartment complex, and I say, it may be a really nice addition to the downtown. After all, you've got that new brewery that you just put in. I haven't been there yet, but I hear good things about it. Hope it works out. What do you think? I mean, I don't know. Am I wrong about that?
The mindset is that the apartment complex is going to bring good new things, and I can see it. You'll have more of a support base for the businesses, the restaurants, the downtown area. Yeah, that's the good. The other side of that is having been a police officer and answering those calls, apartment complexes are notorious for issues.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you mean notorious for issues? People living in a confined space together causes problems.
Mm-hmm.
What's the old adage? A good neighbor is a big fence or something like that?
Fences make good neighbors.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. Well, there are no fences in an apartment complex.
Right.
You have everybody living there. So once again, you have the human interaction that doesn't always go well. Number two, you have parked vehicles within the business or within the building. Larcenies. People see an opportunity for, let me break into that one and that one and that one and that one and that one, and away they go. You have vehicle thefts. There's a whole litany of things. And you can talk to the chief, you can talk to the sheriff, and they'll tell you the same thing. It's like, yeah.
Because police don't prevent crime, they enforce the law.
True.
When a crime is broken. And so the irony is, it's right across the street from a police station. Some may think nothing's going to happen, but that's just
But do you have a police
thinking.
officer sitting in that parking garage the whole time?
Yeah.
I know the citizens of Rockwall don't want to pay for a police officer to do that.
Right.
So we're out, or they're out on the street enforcing law, preventing crimes from happening by being visually seen. And then the other side of it is, that's the proactive side. The reactive side is getting that phone call and having to respond to a call for help.
Yeah. Yeah. That, and I think, the density issue is when you have more need for police, obviously. And this is a high density thing. You've got an apartment complex that's right by the harbor that just went in.
Yes.
I looked at those, and the rent on those appear to be somewhere between. I was surprised that actually that was as low as $1,800, I think, and up to $26. So when you're telling me that these apartments are going to be start around $3,000, man, that's a
lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
So no telling.
Anything else? Final thoughts?
It's coming. What eats at me is the derision between the Rockwall community. I understand that people are empowered or they're impassioned of not in my Rockwall, but I've seen it go far left extreme, or I've seen it go far right extreme. And the conservative me in the middle is, no, I've heard things about the city officials are on the take. We're getting kickbacks. We're getting paid. Pockets are being lined. You heard the same thing as mayor. Anyway, but it comes down to good people trying to make the best decision overall for everyone involved. Everyone's heart is in it. Like I said, unfortunately, I wasn't there. Anna Campbell wasn't there because she came on, let's see, May of 2020. So this is some things that happened before our time, but we are a united front as one team on the city council looking out for the best efforts of Rockwall. This is one of those that it happened way before our time, and we just have to basically deal with it now and administer it. And I know folks aren't happy about it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's not something that you want to tell to someone that they feel like they've been wronged in the situation.
Right.
But this is one of those situations where these are the cards that we were dealt going back to 2000, 2004. The paperwork actually came through and was agreed upon in 2019. And here it is, 2021. The developer's saying, okay, this is what I want to do now. Based upon that 2019 380 agreement, have a right to do it.
Yeah.
Based on the paperwork that was done, or the unified development code that was in place in 2004, it's right. Some bring up the fact of, well, wait a minute. In February, there was a change to the unified code that says this new code supersedes all previous actions. Not an action that was already taken place that justified it right then and there.
Got it.
And I'm so appreciative to former city council individuals, past mayors that have basically said, hey, what's going on? How do I see this? They provided input. They provided guidance. The decision always rests with me at the very, very end, because I'm my own person.
Yeah. I'm
going to hear what you're saying. I'm going to hear what the other council people, but I'm going to vote with my heart on behalf of Rockwall. It's coming. I'm sorry.
I appreciate you taking time to be with me today. And, this is what's so important about government, is that it is responsive, and to have elected officials who actually care about listening to what the people have to say and to address issues, I think is really key and very important as this issue and other issues move forward. So, Councilman Jorvis. Jorif. Why did I say just Councilman? How about Councilman? How does it feel to be called Councilman now?
There you go. That's a
pretty
different
good
thing. The kids tease me, and it's like, Dad, do I have to call you Councilman? Yeah, all the time.
That's
in
right.
the morning, once in the afternoon, and once at night before you go to bed.
That's right.
But it's an honor and a privilege to serve Rockwall. And the people that I serve with have the best of intentions. We care about Rockwall. And bottom line, you're stuck with me, Rockwall, because I'm not leaving. I'm here.
Well, I'm glad you're there, and I hope that this has been helpful for you. Make sure that if you have questions, to reach out to your councilman, to your mayor. Mayor Fowler is going to be on the show. We've already we're setting up a time for him to come in and talk about other issues about the vision of the city and things like that. So if you have questions, make sure that you email them. I'll make sure that those are asked. But I hope that this has been helpful, and I look forward to next time when we'll be back together. So until then, I wish you the very best and blessings for the future.